Dupec, the Dupec Rivermen. They were 8-3 a year ago. They lost in the second round to Reed Custer 24-6, led by Tyler Hoffman. Coach Hoffman got back to us with his preseason form, says they have a good amount of depth at their skill positions. And if their line can mesh together, he believes that'll be a big strength as well. As you've seen, this program is kind of continually building, and they've kind of become. It's kind of funny that as you watch, Dupec's kind of become a program that's kind of grown up around our podcast, right? Like when they were first starting to build pieces, we were kind of just starting the podcast. So I feel like as we've gone on, they've continued to become a mainstay. What do you see this year in this Dupec team?
Well, it's kind of funny because Dupec with their co-op, and I say this a lot, but they remind me of EPC when they first went into a co-op. They had to go through 2 bumpy years, taking losing programs together and creating a winning environment. Dupec did the exact same thing, and now they're benefiting off the fruits of that labor. And I agree with Coach Hoffman's assessment. Needs to improve uh, their offensive line. I feel that that's definitely an area of concern. They lost the most amount of starters there. The skill guys are definitely going to be there. You got Jalen Nowd back. You got Cooper Hoffman at quarterback. Um, you're going to have a couple guys like Drew Williams and Brody Black and Nathan Folk. Hopefully he's coming back after having a broken ankle. So the skill guys are there. They're going to have team speed. The line's going to be the biggest thing for me. You got Jackson Diedrich back at tight end. He put on some spectacular catches as a sophomore last year. Expect big things out of him again this year as a junior. But if they can't get protection around Hoffman, you're gonna find Dupec having some struggles. And um, taking a look at how they're changing the landscape again, another program that has a lot of buy into the weight room, getting a lot of commitment to that weight room. So, those things tend to take care of themselves, so to speak. So, one of the things I did notice though is their line looks like they may be smaller than what we're used to seeing in years past out of Dupec, which could bode to being a little bit more of an athletic line at the same time. And, you know, excuse me, we've seen those teams where their lines aren't very big, but if they become athletic and explosive, that turns a whole different game around too, especially with a dual threat QB like Hoffman back there. I mean, Cooper's game's definitely different than what his older brother Hunter's game was. Hunter was one of those pocket type passers. Cooper is one of those guys. He's looking, reading, 1-2, run.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a lot of coaches that do feel that hey, Dupec's right there in the mix now. They're no longer, well, they haven't been a slouch for quite a while,
Yep.
but they're like you said, since you guys have started your podcast, we've already seen Dupec win a conference title. They were there in the thick of things last year, going 7-2. They put up a great game against Reed Custer in the second round of the playoffs, who
Yep.
narrowly had a loss to Byron in the quarterfinals the very next week. So they're right there knocking on that door. And, like I said, they've always been that offensive line away from being really, really good because their skill guys are right there. And this is one of those years where they might be able to make that change.